Title: Aliens Unknowingly Bully a Human in Galactic Jail. Chapter 1: The Arrival. The vast expanse of space held many secrets, but one of its darkest corners was the Galactic Jail, a high-security prison located on a remote asteroid. It was a place where the most dangerous criminals from various star systems were incarcerated. Among them, a recent arrival sparked a flurry of rumors and whispers: a human named Alex Carter. Alex had been falsely accused of espionage against the Korthan Empire, a technologically advanced alien race known for their strict laws and unforgiving justice system. Despite his protests of innocence, Alex was sentenced to the Galactic Jail, a place where survival was a daily struggle. As he was escorted through the cold, metallic corridors of the jail by two towering Korthan guards, Alex's mind raced. He had heard stories about this place, about the brutality of the inmates and the indifference of the guards. The air was thick with the scent of fear and desperation. The guards shoved Alex into a small, dimly lit cell. The door slammed shut behind him, and the electronic lock clicked into place. Alex took a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. He glanced around the cell, noting the bare metal walls, the narrow bunk, and the single dim light fixture overhead. "Welcome to your new home, human," a gruff voice said from the cell next to his. Alex turned to see a large, scaly creature with multiple eyes staring at him. "Name's Grutak. What did you do to end up in this hellhole?" Alex hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal. "I was accused of espionage," he finally said. Grutak let out a harsh laugh. "Espionage? And they sent you here? Must have really pissed someone off." As the days passed, Alex quickly learned the harsh realities of life in the Galactic Jail. The inmates were a diverse mix of species, each with their own customs, languages, and survival tactics. Fights were common, and the guards did little to maintain order, often turning a blind eye to the violence. It didn't take long for Alex to become a target. The other inmates viewed him as weak, an easy mark for their aggression. They stole his food, shoved him around, and taunted him mercilessly. Despite his efforts to defend himself, Alex found it nearly impossible to fight back against creatures much larger and stronger than himself. One particularly brutal day, Alex found himself cornered by a group of inmates in the communal area. They were led by a massive horned alien named Krek, who seemed to take a special delight in tormenting Alex. "Look at the little human," Krek sneered, shoving Alex against the wall. "You don't belong here, do you?" Alex gritted his teeth, refusing to show fear. "I didn't do anything wrong," he said, his voice shaking with anger. Krek laughed, a deep rumbling sound. "Doesn't matter. You're here now, and you're at the bottom of the food chain." Before Alex could react, Krek's fist connected with his stomach, driving the air from his lungs. He doubled over in pain, gasping for breath as the other inmates laughed and jeered. But just as Krek was about to deliver another blow, a sharp voice cut through the din. "That's enough!" The crowd parted to reveal a tall, imposing figure with silver skin and glowing blue eyes. It was Zara, one of the few inmates who commanded respect from both the prisoners and the guards. "Leave him alone," Zara said, her voice cold and authoritative. "He's not worth your time." Krek scowled, but reluctantly stepped back. "Fine," he muttered. "But this isn't over, human." As the crowd dispersed, Zara turned to Alex, her expression unreadable. "You need to learn how to defend yourself," she said, "or you won't last long in here." Alex nodded, still struggling to catch his breath. "Thank you," he managed to say. "Don't thank me," Zara replied. "Just stay out of trouble." With that, she walked away, leaving Alex to contemplate his precarious situation. He knew he had to find a way to survive, to prove his innocence and escape this nightmarish place. But for now, his priority was simple: stay alive. Chapter 2: The Alliance. The following days were a blur of pain and humiliation for Alex. The other inmates continued to harass him, and the guards remained indifferent. Alex knew he couldn't endure much more of this. He needed allies, and fast. Zara's intervention had given him a glimmer of hope. She was a formidable presence in the jail, respected by many and feared by some. If he could gain her support, it might tip the scales in his favor. One evening, after another grueling day, Alex approached Zara in the communal area. She was sitting alone, her eyes closed as if in deep meditation. He hesitated, unsure of how to begin. "Zara," he said quietly. Her eyes snapped open and she fixed him with a piercing gaze. "What do you want, human?" "I need your help," Alex replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "I can't survive here on my own." Zara studied him for a moment, then nodded slowly. "Sit," she said, gesturing to the spot next to her. Alex complied, grateful for even this small act of kindness. "Why did you help me?" he asked. Zara sighed, her expression softening slightly. "Because I see potential in you," she said. "You're not like the others. You're not a criminal. You don't belong here." "How can you tell?" Alex asked, genuinely curious. "I have a gift," Zara replied. "I can sense the truth in people, and I believe you're innocent." Alex felt a surge of relief. "Thank you," he said. "But what can I do? I can't keep getting beaten up every day." Zara leaned in closer, her voice low and urgent. "You need to learn how to fight, how to defend yourself. And you need to make allies. There are others here who might be willing to help you, but you have to prove yourself first." "How do I do that?" Alex asked. "By standing up to Krek," Zara said. "Show him you're not afraid. Even if you lose, the fact that you fought back will earn you respect." The thought of confronting Krek again filled Alex with dread, but he knew Zara was right. He couldn't continue to be a victim. He had to take control of his fate. Over the next few days, Zara trained Alex in the art of combat. She taught him how to anticipate his opponent's moves, how to exploit their weaknesses, and how to use his smaller size to his advantage. It was exhausting work, but Alex was determined to learn. One evening, after an intense training session, Zara introduced Alex to a group of inmates she trusted. There was Rax, a hulking creature with 4 arms and a surprisingly gentle demeanor. Talia, a quick-witted alien with the ability to camouflage herself. And Vex, a sharp-eyed inmate who seemed to know everything that happened in the jail. "This is Alex," Zara said. "He's one of us now." Rax extended one of his massive hands. "Welcome," he said, his voice a deep rumble. Talia and Vex nodded in greeting, and Alex felt a glimmer of hope. For the first time since arriving at the Galactic jail, he didn't feel completely alone. As the days passed, Alex's confidence grew. He trained relentlessly with Zara and her allies, learning new techniques and strategies. The other inmates began to notice the change in him, and the constant bullying gradually diminished. But Alex knew the real test was yet to come. He had to face Krek, to prove once and for all that he was not to be underestimated. The opportunity came sooner than expected. One day, while in the communal area, Alex saw Krek harassing another inmate. His heart pounded in his chest, but he knew he couldn't back down. "Hey, Krek!" Alex shouted, stepping forward. "Leave him alone." Krek turned, his eyes narrowing in surprise. "You again?" he sneered. "Didn't you learn your lesson last time?" Alex stood his ground, his fists clenched. "I'm not afraid of you." The other inmates watched in silence as Krek approached Alex, his expression a mix of amusement and irritation. "You must have a death wish, human," he growled. Alex took a deep breath, recalling Zara's training. "No, I just have something to prove." With that, the fight began. Krek lunged at Alex, but this time Alex was ready. He dodged the attack, landing a swift punch to Krek's side. The larger alien roared in anger, but Alex didn't relent. He used his speed and agility to evade Krek's powerful blows, striking back with precision. The fight was brutal and exhausting, but Alex refused to give up. He could hear the murmurs of the other inmates, feel their eyes on him. He knew he was earning their respect, even if he lost. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Krek stumbled, gasping for breath. Alex seized the opportunity, delivering a final decisive blow that sent the larger alien crashing to the ground. The room fell silent, and for a moment Alex couldn't believe what had happened. He had won. He had stood up to Krek and survived. Zara stepped forward, a proud smile on her face. "Well done," she said, her voice filled with genuine admiration. The other inmates began to cheer, and Alex felt a surge of pride. He had proven himself, earned his place among them, but he knew the journey was far from over. There were still many challenges ahead, and he would need all the strength and support he could get to survive the Galactic jail. Chapter 3. The Escape Plan. With his newfound respect among the inmates, Alex's life in the Galactic jail became marginally easier. The constant bullying subsided, and he even managed to form alliances with other inmates who saw potential in him. But Alex never lost sight of his ultimate goal: to escape and prove his innocence. One evening, as Alex and his allies gathered in a secluded corner of the communal area, Zara spoke in hushed tones. "We can't stay here forever. We need to find a way out." "Escape?" Rax rumbled, his forearms crossed over his massive chest. "That's a tall order, even for us." Talia, her eyes scanning the room for eavesdroppers, nodded. "The security here is tight, but it's not impossible." Alex leaned in, his mind racing. "Do you have a plan?" Zara's eyes gleamed with determination. "I've been observing the guards, their routines, and the security systems. There are weaknesses, but we'll need to be smart and move fast." Vex, the sharp-eyed inmate, chimed in. "I've managed to get my hands on a few access codes. They won't get us all the way out, but they'll help." Alex felt a surge of hope. "What do we need to do?" Zara outlined the plan in detail. They would exploit a shift change in the guards, using the access codes to disable key security systems. From there, they would make their way to the docking bay, where they could hijack a transport ship and escape. "It's risky," Zara admitted, "but it's our best shot." Over the next few days, they worked tirelessly to prepare. Alex trained harder than ever, honing his skills and ensuring he was ready for anything. They gathered supplies, memorized the layout of the jail, and rehearsed the plan until they knew it by heart. The night of the escape, tension hung heavy in the air. Alex's heart pounded as he and his allies moved through the darkened corridors, their footsteps silent on the cold metal floor. They encountered a few guards, but Zara's meticulous planning and Vex's access codes allowed them to bypass most of the obstacles. As they neared the docking bay, Alex felt a surge of adrenaline. They were so close, but just as they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a group of guards, their weapons drawn. "Stop right there!" one of the guards barked, his voice echoing through the corridor. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Alex's mind raced, searching for a way out. Then, without warning, Rax let out a deafening roar and charged at the guards, his massive fists swinging. The corridor erupted into chaos. Alex and the others sprang into action, using every ounce of their training to fight their way through. Blaster fire lit up the darkness, and the sounds of battle filled the air. Despite the odds, they fought with everything they had. Alex's determination burned like a fire inside him, fueling his every move. He dodged and weaved, striking with precision and ferocity. He could see the docking bay entrance just ahead, their path to freedom. But as they neared the entrance, a powerful force slammed into Alex, sending him crashing to the ground. Dazed, he looked up to see Krek standing over him, a cruel smile on his face. "Going somewhere, human?" Krek sneered. Alex's vision blurred, but he refused to give up. He struggled to his feet, his fists clenched. "I'm not staying here," he growled. Krek lunged at him, but this time, Alex was ready. He ducked under Krek's attack, delivering a series of rapid blows to the larger alien's midsection. Krek roared in pain, but Alex didn't relent. He fought with everything he had, driven by a desperate need to escape. Finally, with a final powerful strike, Alex sent Krek crashing to the ground. Gasping for breath, he turned to see Zara and the others fending off the remaining guards. "We need to move!" Zara shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. With renewed determination, Alex and his allies pushed forward, fighting their way to the docking bay entrance. They burst through the doors, racing towards the nearest transport ship. As they boarded the ship, alarms blared, and more guards poured into the docking bay. Alex could feel the ship's engines humming to life, and he knew they had to act fast. "Get us out of here," he shouted to Talia, who had taken the pilot's seat. Talia's fingers flew over the controls, and the ship lifted off the ground, its thrusters roaring. The docking bay doors opened, revealing the vast expanse of space beyond. Blaster fire erupted around them, but Talia maneuvered the ship with expert precision, weaving through the chaos and out into the open space. Alex felt a surge of relief as the stars stretched out before them. They had done it. They had escaped. But as they sped away from the Galactic jail, Alex knew their journey was far from over. They still had to clear their names and find a way to prove their innocence. But for now, they were free. And that was a victory worth celebrating. Chapter 4. The Pursuit of Justice. The transport ship hurtled through space, the stars streaking past in a blur. Alex sat in the co-pilot's seat, his mind racing with a mix of relief and apprehension. They had escaped the Galactic jail, but their freedom was tenuous at best. They needed a plan, and they needed it fast. Zara, seated behind them, was already working on that. "We can't stay in this system," she said, her voice steady despite the urgency of their situation. "The Korthan Empire will be searching for us." Talia nodded, her eyes fixed on the ship's navigation controls. "I know a place where we can lay low for a while," she said. "An old mining colony on the edge of the sector. It's abandoned, but it should have enough resources for us to regroup and plan our next move." Alex turned to Zara. "What do we do after that? How do we prove our innocence?" Zara's eyes met his, filled with determination. "We need evidence, something that proves you were framed. The Korthans are meticulous with their records. If we can access their data network, we might find what we need." Vex, who had been monitoring the ship's sensors, spoke up. "That's easier said than done. The Korthan data network is heavily guarded. We'll need help to get in." Rax, who had been silent until now, rumbled in agreement. "I know someone who can help. An old friend who owes me a favor. He's a tech genius, can hack into just about anything." "Where can we find him?" Alex asked, hope sparking in his chest. "On Valtor 7, Rax replied. "It's a small neutral planet not too far from here. If we can get there, he can help us." Talia adjusted their course, setting a new trajectory towards Valtor 7. "Hang on," she said, her hands steady on the controls. "We're going to need all the luck we can get." As they traveled through space, Alex couldn't help but think about the journey that lay ahead. They had escaped the Galactic jail, but their fight for justice was just beginning. They would need to be smart, resourceful, and above all, united. When they finally arrived at Valtor 7, the planet's dusty surface and sprawling cities were a welcome sight. They landed the transport ship in a secluded area and made their way to a bustling market where Rax's contact was known to frequent. The market was a chaotic mix of vendors, shoppers, and travelers from all corners of the galaxy. Rax led the way, his massive form parting the crowd with ease. They reached a small, nondescript shop tucked away in a corner, its sign written in an alien language Alex couldn't read. Inside, the shop was cluttered with all manner of gadgets and devices. A wiry, gray-skinned alien with large, expressive eyes looked up from behind the counter. "Rax," he exclaimed, his face breaking into a wide grin. "Long time no see." "Lork," Rax rumbled, clasping the alien's hand. "We need your help." Lork's eyes flicked to the rest of the group, his expression curious. "What kind of help?" "We need to access the Korthan data network," Zara said, stepping forward. "Can you do it?" Lork's eyebrows shot up. "The Korthan network? That's a tall order. But if anyone can do it, it's me. What's in it for me?" Rax leaned in, his voice low. "Your debt to me will be cleared, and you'll have the satisfaction of sticking it to the Korthans." Lork considered this for a moment, then nodded. "All right, but it won't be easy. We'll need a secure location and some high-end equipment." They returned to the transport ship, where Lork set up his makeshift command center. As he worked, tapping away at his console, Alex felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. This was their best chance to find the evidence they needed. Hours passed, and the tension in the ship grew palpable. Finally, Lork leaned back, a triumphant smile on his face. "I'm in, but you're not going to like what I found." "What is it?" Alex asked, his heart pounding. Lork pulled up a series of files on the screen. "It looks like the Korthans framed you as part of a larger conspiracy. They've been manipulating events to justify a war against Earth. If this information gets out, it could expose their entire plan." Alex felt a surge of anger and determination. "We need to get this to the Galactic Council. They have the authority to intervene." Zara nodded. "But it won't be easy. The Korthans will do everything they can to stop us." They set a course for the Galactic Council's headquarters, knowing they were racing against time. As they traveled, they devised a plan to present their evidence and gain the Council's support. When they arrived, the Council's vast, imposing structure loomed before them. They made their way through the grand halls, their hearts heavy with the weight of their mission. Inside the Council chamber, representatives from countless star systems gathered to hear their plea. Alex stepped forward, his voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "We have evidence that the Korthan Empire has been manipulating events to justify a war against Earth," he said, projecting the data onto a large screen. "They framed me for espionage as part of their plan. We ask for the Council's intervention to stop this unjust war." The chamber erupted in murmurs and exclamations. The Korthan representative, a stern-faced official, stood up, his expression livid. "These accusations are baseless," he shouted. But Zara stepped forward, her presence commanding. "The evidence speaks for itself. The Korthans have violated countless interstellar laws. It is the duty of the Council to act." After a tense deliberation, the Council announced their decision. "The evidence presented is compelling. The Korthan Empire will be investigated, and all hostilities against Earth are to be suspended immediately." A wave of relief washed over Alex and his allies. They had done it. Justice had prevailed. As they left the Council chamber, Alex felt a profound sense of accomplishment. They had exposed the truth, cleared their names, and prevented a war. But most importantly, they had proven that even in the darkest of places, hope and courage could prevail. Together, they looked to the stars, ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy had in store for them.